All right, folks, good morning. Let's get started here. So, for today, um, Monday, February the 3rd, we have the following information. At 9:45 a.m., we'll have final manufacturing PMI, which is a moderately important report. At 10 a.m., we're going to have ISM manufacturing PMI, which is a major report, and ISM manufacturing prices, which is a moderately important report. We'll also have construction spending month over month, but that's not expected to have any significant impact. All day today, we'll have Ward total vehicle sales. Not expecting much impact there. 12:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll have FOMC member Bostic speaking, which is also not expected to have any significant impact. And then finally, at some point today, we'll have the loan officer survey. This is also not expected to have a significant impact. There will be some other news that will hit after market close, but we're not going to ignore those. All right, so basically from 9:45 a.m. to 10 a.m., that's where all the major news hits. Now, taking a look at the NASDAQ, the QQQ ETF, let's talk about what's going on right now. As you can clearly see, the market is lower than where we closed on Friday and looking like we're going to open significantly lower. Um, the reason for this is because of the news on tariffs, the news that tariffs will be implemented on Canada, Mexico, and China, which naturally should have a negative impact on the financial market, the stock market. Now, doesn't mean it's permanent, it just means that that should have an initial negative impact because it just means that companies may not make as much money or be forced to pay more money, or you get it. So we'll see what happens in the longer term as far as its impact on labor and things like that. But as far as just the regular stock market, it should affect prices in a negative direction. That's the normal thing that should happen. All right, that being said, stock prices, that is. That's being said, let's take a look at what stocks were moving on Friday. Now, Friday's trading action for the QQQ, some comments about tariffs hit in the afternoon, and then the confirmation, of course, came over the weekend. But anyway, the market was more negative than positive. At first, it was up, and then obviously sold off, but it was barely, um, barely negative. But anyway, as far as it goes, Tesla was one of the opportunities that we did find on Friday, and that was able to reach our target number one to the upside very easily. It did not reach our target number two. It actually topped out before then. I believe there was some good resistance at 420, which it wasn't able to get through. But either way, we were able to make a profit on that before the sell-off ensued later. Uh, Now, that being said, let us take a look at what's moving in the pre-market. And the pre-market, we have the following. First off, we have, oh wait, why didn't that? Okay, let's try again. CLSK, there we go. First off, we have CLSK, which is presently down 7.18%, 1.5 million shares traded, and it's at least $1 per share. So that qualifies for our pre-market list, pre-market watch list. So we'll go ahead and add CLSK to that list. Okay. Next up is CYCN. Currently, that is up 4.85%, so not up enough. It would have to be up at least 6% for us to put this on our list. It was up more than that before, so we'll leave that one alone and move on to another. Next up is GHRS. Our GHRS is up about 89% on 3.8 million shares, trading above $1 per share. According to news here, shares are trading higher after the company's inhalable depression treatment GH001 met the primary endpoint in its phase 2B trial, showing symptom reduction. So FDA stuff. Obviously, the stock is up. GHRS. Not looking like it's going to move much after the opening bell, but that's where we are right now. All right, next up is INTC. That presently is down only 2.5%, so that's not going to make any difference here for us. We need it to be down at least 6%, so we'll skip that one for now. Next up is LAES. That's down 6.2% roughly on 1.9 million shares, trading at least $1 per share. So we can go ahead and add that to our pre-market list. LAES. Next up is, oh, for a second, that doesn't qualify. Next up is MARA. Oops, MARA. That is presently down 7.42% on 2 million shares, trading at least $1 per share. So we can go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list. Next up is I doubt NVIDIA qualifies. No, it's only down 3.6%, so we can pass on that. Let's check Palantir PLTR. Nope, only down 2.5%, so that doesn't count. Let's see. REBN. That is currently up 50.3% on 20.4 million shares. It's at least $1 per share, so we can go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list. Symbol again is REBN. MVDL, it should, it's down 7%. Yeah, that's the NVIDIA ETF, MVDL, so we can go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list as well. NVDL, we already had REBN. RGTI is next. All right, that's only down 3%, 3.5%, so that won't qualify. Right, blockchain, okay, that is down 7.28% on 2 million shares, trading at least above $1 per share. So Riot is now added to our list. Next up is, let's check SoFi. That's down 5.5%, so almost down enough, but not quite. We'll add it to our possibilities list. It's not quite down enough. It does have the other criteria, enough volume, 2.8 million shares, right price range. Next up is SOPA. That is currently at 45% on 18.7 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. We'll go ahead and add SOPA to our pre-market radar. Next up is, let's take a look at Tesla. Okay, it's currently down 3.67% on 3.7 million shares, so it doesn't qualify. Its ETF, TSLL, would. That's currently down 7.34% on 9.5 million shares, and it's of course at least $1 per share. So we can add TSLL to the list. Again, that's a Tesla single stock ETF. And lastly, on my list, at least, I have Wolf. That is currently down over 9%, 1.6 million shares traded, and it's at least $1 per share. So we will add WULF to the radar. All right, so posting in the chat all the stocks that I found so far. If you folks see any others that meet all 4 of our criteria, let me know in the chat. 4 criteria are: it must be a NASDAQ listed stock, trading at least $1 per share in this current pre-market session. Also in this pre-market session, it must have achieved at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume and at least a 6% price change, which can be positive or negative. So if you see any other stocks that meet all 4 of our criteria, other than the ones I already mentioned, of course, let me know in the chat. CYCN, okay. I think I mentioned that one or checked that one. Maybe I didn't. No. That's only up 1.78%. Yeah, we did check that out before. SMST. Okay, that currently is up 14.54% on 2.8 million shares. Of course, it's dollar per share. That is a ETF, a single stock ETF for MSTR. So we'll add that to our list, SMST. So again, folks, if we see any other stocks that meet all four of our criteria, let me know in the chat. BCTX is mentioned. Let's take a look. Okay, currently up 22% on 2.3 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So we will go ahead and add that BCTX to the list. ETHU. Let's take a look. Maybe it's the well, actually no. It says Ether ETF. That must be a NYSE symbol. Let's see. Yeah, that must be NYSE. So that's why it's not showing up on my list. But probably qualifies either way. All right. If you see any other stocks that meet all four of our criteria, let me know in the chat. Must be again a Nasdaq listed stock trading at least $1 per share in this current pre-market session. In this current pre-market, it must also have achieved at least a 6% price change, positive or negative, and at least 1 million shares of volume. Again, ETHU is a NYSE, so or at least it looks like it is. So we'll have to pass on that one. All right. All right, so we'll have to wrap up for today's pre-market pulse. Please be sure to like the video. I see we have 6 likes, but more than 6 people watching. Please be sure to hit the like button, which greatly helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you get notifications. Uh, if anyone is watching this video on a replay and you're not familiar with our company, check out fundertrading.com, our website. You'll see a link in the description to this video. Other than that, for everyone's part of the coaching program, I'll see you there in about 20 minutes. We'll pick up for today's session. Other than that, folks, have a great trading day. I'll see you for tomorrow's pre-market pulse. Take care.